Hey, good day, and welcome to another episode of Ecosystem Insights with me, David, and our host, Fez. Hey, Fez, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm happy that we're recording. We had about a 45-minute setup with that one. So, yeah, let's get on with it. We have a lot to talk about today, I think.
We
Do you
do,
want to put
we
up the
do.
screen?
Yeah, let's do it. Uh, and let's get that frustration out very quick because it's been a real testing 45 minutes. Never get new gear,
Screaming.
David. Never. It just breaks everything.
It
Okay,
does.
what do we got first? So, going through all the Icon Foundation network news, first thing we had the Validator support program that just got introduced.
Yeah.
David, how are you feeling?
I feel great, and it seems like icon validators feel great as well because the reactions have been positive throughout. What the program does is the foundation is actually going to help validators accrue votes.
Hmm.
So where it might have been hard to get like votes before, now the Icon Foundation will step in, and if you're eligible, you will receive a share of votes from them, which in turn increases the rewards that your validator node will receive,
Mm.
making it easier to maintain it and pay for the costs. And yeah, so it makes validating the Icon network more attractive.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's a couple of things about it that I think are really good. Uh, as it stands currently on the Icon network, you could spin up an Icon node and start validating, receive rewards, get votes from community members.
Mm.
Um, but the way it is now, I believe you can switch off your node, stop validating altogether, and still, if the votes remain, because people don't even know that you've done that, you still
Hmm.
get your rewards, right? Um,
Yes.
yeah, so that's not great, and it's something that may have to be fixed through like on-chain proposals and reworking the monetary policy. But this is kind of a quick fix because one of the eligibility criteria for the um, foundation to move up to 5 million ICX votes to your validator is 90% or higher productivity. So, you as a node have to be performant to be eligible for this support. So hopefully what it does is it weeds out underperforming nodes,
Yep.
and kind of pushes up the nodes that genuinely make an effort to validate the Icon network and keep it safe and secure.
Yep. Yep. And look, specifically, it's targeting these nodes that are above, 90% productivity and are over bonded. And the sole reason for that is if they're over bonded, then that's when the foundation will delegate some votes. And this is just like the foundation would be voting traditionally, like as a user, they go and allocate some ICX. And uh, the reason for that is to help these overbonded validators get more votes and earn a bit more in rewards. So it's a good positive sign because in general in the bear market, validators have been struggling, just the cost of running a validator itself. So this is going to complement the validators who have stuck around, who have high productivity, and on the flip side, it encourages, like, some validators aren't bonded, and it may actually make them go and lock up more ICX because and get themselves over bonded so that they can qualify for this delegation, which is not a bad thing. It's great because more skin in the game, more suppliers locked up in terms of a bond to qualify for this. So yeah, this is great. I think everyone's been up calling for it, and foundations listened and tried to do something about it until we have the uh, new monetary system that is being worked on, that's been proposed in the forums, come into effect with the minimum wage and all the various other changes it's going to make to the validation part of our blockchain, basically. So that's exciting. That's being worked on. Planning stages. They're working through how it's going to get built. In the meantime, there's this to make sure that we don't lose good validators.
Yeah. And it could even help to attract new validators. The announcement is out on the website, obviously up on Twitter, posted up on CoinMarketCap. Like the first thing you see when you visit the ICX token page is this announcement, and then in it is a link to applying. So
Yeah.
if you want, if you want to run an Icon validator node, or if you're already doing so, you can read up on it on icon.community, or go to this article and hit that link that'll send you to the forum for that.
Yep. Cool. Then next up, okay, so we had the March dev update. It's been that long, David, since we've done an episode. So we just wanted to tackle this because this was a big update. Obviously, with this update came the announcement of BTP blocks has been activated on Berlin testnet, and as well on Berlin, BTP is actually deployed and connected to Binance Smart Chains testnet and ETH's testnet. So that means we have currently a fully connected testnet ecosystem for Icon, ETH, and Binance Smart Chain. And this is with xCall built on top. Remember, xCall is basically an app that's built on top of the BTP protocol. So it's a messaging app, and that's why xCall can be used in other interoperable solutions. So it's live, it's using BTP, and quite a big, like if you look at it, a lot of stuff looked like it was taking a while, and then suddenly a lot of things got completed. So this was a huge milestone, and the community reacted. You saw, like, yes, there was a bit of a price at the same time. A few days later, the price of ICX went up, and obviously with price action, good price action, there's a lot of positivity. But just before that price action, all this technical action happened, David. Technical action.
I love it. And it is worth noting that the instances, if that's what you call it, on the testnet are currently one-way trustless, whereas
That's right.
in the full, so the work is ongoing. So I think as it stands, if you on testnet connect to other networks and you send messages through BTP outward, it is completely trustless, decentralized, the way it has always been envisioned. And then if you want to send them back in messages to Icon, it still routes through a centralized bridge setup as an interim solution, step by step. So working ahead forward, it'll be two-way trustless. That's the goal, of course.
Yeah. Yep, and that'll be very soon. But even through this month, any dApps, applica devs, or anyone testing, it doesn't impact them utilizing xCall to send messages at the moment, whether it's trustless or trusted on one side. They can still continue on using, adopting, trialing, trying to break it, giving feedback. Nothing changes. It's just that particular instance. And the main reason for that is they are optimizing. There's constantly, bugs and optimizations that they can make, and that's the goal. They're giving themselves some time to actually optimize those aspects and then deploy and activate it. So
judging by the way you set up this recording, you'd break xCall within 4 minutes. So I think we need to keep Fez far away from xCall development.
I'm laughing, but I'm so full of rage right now. Oh god, yeah. But yeah, look. So this was a big one. Now, again, I like to always give a bit of perspective. We've hit this stage of testnet, and now the big part of being on testnet is getting dApps to adopt and test, because that's going to give the real data needed to make sure everything is functioning the way it should be. So as I actually called out earlier, we will see a launch of some testnet incentivizations, programs, etc. But no one should be on standstill. Like, we've already seen Craft doing stuff and all other teams. And if listening to it and our dev and have been waiting for this for a while. Oh, xCall. Well, it's there. The IP is defined. It's live. This is your time to go in there. And you know what? If you go in there and you just don't know where to start and something's missing, well, that's a problem. And that's a problem that you should be reporting through, getting in the Discord, touching base with Eric, giving the feedback of what your blocker, your hurdle is at the moment if you are trying to investigate or trying to, jump into it and explore how to use it. But again, a lot of work's been done so that there is no blockers like that. But you know what it is, David? It's fresh eyes. You get fresh eyes who aren't used to it, who come in to explore the tech. They'll straight away call out where their blockers are. And it usually is this stuff that when you're in the ecosystem and you know how everything works, you wouldn't even think of it. And this is the kind of stuff now we need to start happening. So expect the testnet stint to be on for a while, remain as testing and revisions and bug fixes, but also gives the applications time to adopt the tech and test it between the chains. So I don't want. It's an exciting time though. Like we're there. That now we have an interoperable solution, and it's not blocking anyone now to actually use it. No one can sit there going, we're waiting for it's here. It doesn't matter that it's not on mainnet, because every aspect of the application development process would be getting to testnet and then doing extensive testing when it comes to cross-chain, anything interoperable. So, yeah. Okay. I've rambled enough there. David, next thing. Okay, so BTP, this is BTP Milestones. Oh, yeah. With the BTP milestones, we've seen this updated. Now, one thing to note, soon we'll probably have new milestones start to get added as we transition from, obviously, all the milestones targeted testnet, but now we have to start thinking, okay, from testnet, then we got, how do we transition to next testnet to mainnet, etc. So expect this to get updated soon. Next up, IBC integration milestones. So I was looking after this, and I was actually ignoring the milestone board. So the other week I went in and updated various aspects. So things are trending well. We're at a critical stage where at the moment we are finishing up different components of the relay, which will then give us the ability to test out locally. So this is test out locally, sending information between both sides, and everything's working and the relay's communicating correctly. So we're still early there, but there's a lot of work happening, and it's getting to the tail end where then once all this happens, then we'll go into this testing mode, a ton of testing and fixes before we entertain the idea of a testnet deployment. But so with this, things are going well. Remember, along with this as well, this is at the moment, one thing I wanted to call out here with this update, actually it's not here, so it's okay. The Polygon. So the core focus at the moment with the xCall integration, the xCall team, is we're integrating IBC on IBC and connecting to Archway. And right now, that is strictly the focus. We haven't touched Polygon, may revise that a little bit, but the entire team is zoned in on building the integration to Archway. And with that will be the balance we'll look to capitalize on that integration and deploy on that chain as well. So, and this is not like alpha, this is known facts, David. I'm just reiterating. Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, why is Polygon there in the not started column?
So Polygon, part of the initial planning phase, we targeted Polygon. However, there may be more synergies to just look at another Cosmos, hit a few Cosmos chains. Synergies as in it will be far quicker because once the Archway build is done, it's basically all the work is done, and we can replicate those contracts on various Cosmos chains to get traction versus going down on Polygon side. And the second part of it is, like, strategically, it makes more sense to ensure we're targeting chains that we have a protocol we can launch with, or even a bit later, right? Because it's much easier to get buy-in and show why your product is better or on par with what's on market if you have a application that's actually utilizing it and they can see what's going on versus, oh, we're connected, come use us. So this is why Polygon kind of has been reshifting. So I'll probably update this, David, with a new Cosmos chain once it's final. But the main reason it hasn't happened is because all hands are on deck with the archway, and we're at that phase where we just need to, all the components are built, and now it's about making sure they're all talking to each other. And once that happens, then we'll go through testing, etc. And that's where then we can commence work on the next chain.
Does this mean that if there is builders in the Icon ecosystem that are building their DApp and their use cases or journeys, if they say like, hey, we really want to connect to this or that network, and we want to use xCall for it, that would be for the development teams an incentive, or then they'd be like, oh, hey, it's interesting now to look at that connection for the next xCall implementation or wherever.
Yeah, definitely, and we're actually already doing that. So part of this entire process is not just building, but we're talking to some of the teams that have connections or dApps and other chains, but mainly have something on Icon and want where they're looking at in the future. So it's all about that, and this is where, like, we've already seen it. This is not even something to hide, but you're seeing Kraft has talked about Neutron, the partnership, which is fantastic, and that's a Cosmos chain. So this is what I'm talking about, where it would make more sense to spend energy and effort to actually implement another Cosmos chain, and it can be done much quicker because it's just using the existing work that once it's completed. And so this is why Polygon for now is there's not much happening there, and even with that, like, I'll leave it there. So I'll get that updated, and the overall though, things are going well with the IBC integration, and the final call out is like, no final call out. We'll just leave it there. I think that's good, David.
It is good. It is a bit of a cliffhanger for the next episode or for the next couple of weeks, whatever.
I think, it's quite early. Like BTP, that's on testnet, so that should get a lot of focus at the moment. We're still in the build phase, but again, like called out earlier, it's not a case of we're building it from ground up and it's innovative solution. Like IBC it's already written, so we're literally taking what's written and building it out. So very different to BTP. Cool.
Yeah. Well, talking about BTP and xCall and sticking to that is the next little tweet. It's funny. It's from Scott, who goes by Benny Options, who talks about balanced. So there's a bit of a crosswire. But what we're looking at is essentially the first use case of xCall that balanced our native DEX is looking at. And it's kind of a tweet that goes along with other tweets by other builders that have all mentioned that now that the xCall is on testnet, we can start testing with it, and we can start looking at actually implementing our cross-chain use case that we've been thinking about for a while now.
And this is a good one. See, it says I just talked about it, and this is where Balanced will, be looking to launch once we've connected on Archway to and use what Scott's described. So, and I've talked about this in a space with Real Radio I was on, where the main contracts are still gonna live on Icon, and the front end, they can connect their wallet on Archway, and basically when the user does something, it's sending those messages to the contracts on Icon, and that's where the utility will come through. Now, what's really cool about why we're focused on xCall, and this is how we will acquire and get more eyes on us, is once we've got this working and functioning, our goal will be to build another implementation of a interoperable protocol, like, and this is not set in stone, but I'm giving some context, like layer 0 or even an optimistic bridge to the same chain, right? Because this is what it means is, like, IBC is an interoperable standard. Layer 0, for example, is an interoperable standard. They have two different ways of verification that happens when you are sending messages, when you are basically going between chains, right? They have different ways of verification, and that's a good thing. What we're keeping consistent, though, is xCall, the messaging standard. So you have these two integrations. They have two different ways of verification, which means there's more security, because, you know, if a hacker does bypass one and you've got two verification standards, then there's more security there. But the cool thing is, once xCall is built on top as a messaging standard on these two interoperable protocols, the application and the user of the application could opt to use, or even the application itself for certain transactions could say, we want to send two messages, the same message, xCall message, across the two interoperable protocols, just to make sure that it is secure on the other end. So, you know, in an event of the one message actually gets hacked, the security of the I'm just throwing it out there, of layer 0 gets hacked, but the same message has been sent through the IBC protocol, you know, from interoperability perspective. It will then realize, okay, no, it'll stop and go, yep, something's wrong here, because both the messages have not come through saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So and this is where now this is one of the goals that we are going to aspire and get to, is once we get that, is to try and connect chains in two ways so that we can offer the dual verification. And the best part is, from an application perspective, because they built their messages over xCall, they don't have to do any new work. They just literally send the same message across the two interoperable layers, protocols. So that's got me excited. You can see, like, and you know, this is stuff like Scott sits there planning and a lot of research and stuff, and talks through the team, and we're seeing the market kind of move in that direction,'t people are talking, where is the dual verification and interoperability? Where can I want more, you know, security around that? And so yeah, in the meetings and stuff, this is the things that come out, and this is what where we're going to head to.
It seems very far forward looking, and we're really good at that by now. You know, but it's also nice that to get like tangible results on the short term. So it's nice to see the milestone board of the IBC integration move forward. And it's nice to see that the BTP connections have been put onto testnet, so you can see the progress there. And then looking forward becomes more exciting, because, you know, like, okay, wait a second, there is tangible progress here. There's no blockers for now. So that's where we're going. That is very exciting, because that means that you could even double or triple down as a DApp and say, when you use us, we travel and verify across 4 different interoperability standards.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that would be, because remember, the more you use, the more it goes in fees. Everything takes fees, but it's just the option is there. Like, you know, if a protocol wants to be extremely secure, they can opt in for that with minimal amount of work, because they've built their messaging across xCall, and they can just pick how many verification, you know, depending on how many we have available per chain. But yeah, let's back up. That's why once one is done, then further implementations as we adopt will happen. So,
but hey, this xCall thing sounds pretty cool, Fez.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it is. It is very cool. Like, it's a messaging standard, and this is, I'm going to put out a tweet. I've been working on a tweet through Iron Icon. I'll put it out probably tomorrow or something like that. Just trying to basically talking about what I've been discussing. Like, there's various messaging standards out there, right? There's many. Like, a lot of the IBC itself has its own messaging standard that can be used. But so this is where the I was going to say X factor. My God, X factor comes in xCall. But it is that. It is where then all the whole, what I've been saying is, once the devs and the application have started building this library of messages, and specifically if their DApp is unique and doing some unique functions, they've built their own unique messages that they want to use for sending messages across blockchains, giving them the option to use that across different interoperable protocols to ensure they have a range of security when they're doing these transactions is a win for them, because versus using, say, 3 different messaging standards to get that additional security, because then they have to build those messages 3 individual times through those standards to get it out to various chains, right?
Yeah.
So and that's where that X factor comes in. So yeah. It is cool. It is exciting. Okay, rambled enough. CPS. Oh, it's a light round. I thought let's touch on it. So we still have the hackathon, and that's been going for a while. And the second one, new one that's come through, and full disclosure, ICON is sponsoring. And the main reason we're sponsoring is obviously it's making HANA. Putting the internals together that's needed to get HANA compatible with the Cosmos ecosystem. And yeah, like from an ICON perspective, David, you and me, we talked about it along with Paul and Rook, and we know we're building to Archway. We know Craft is going multi-chain on Cosmos. Like it makes a lot of sense to ensure HANA's there. And specifically Archway and Neutron, these are new chains. So if HANA can be ready and we got applications and we can onboard users to the wallet, they then through time,
Yeah, and it's a user interface thing as well, because if you're going to go to Craft and it's going blockchain across cross chain with Icon and Neutron, and maybe even adding a third or a fourth one, I don't want to add 4 different native blockchain wallets and have to switch every time because I'm doing stuff across.
Yeah.
I just want to run HANA and be connected to all of them.
And this is the thing. So in the Cosmos space, like let's be real. Like there is a very dominant wallet, which is Kepler, and it's great. It's awesome for Cosmos. Everything looks the same, and it's very much Cosmos universe. So HANA is not Cosmos universe. It's not Icon universe. It's kind of all chain universe. So, but very much adopted in the Icon universe. So yeah. Anyway, look, it's not to sway. We're sponsoring. This is the prime reason we're sponsoring it. It's in line with the goal of Icon and what the teams are currently building in the background, especially with the Archway integration underway. So this is great to see HANA just making sure they're ready for what's to come. Okay. Ooh, what's this, David? We're doing another promo?
Yes and no. This is all KuCoin launching this, but they have opened up extra trading functionality to ICX tokens. It's margin trading, which is something that I would usually shy away from because it means more risk, more reward, I believe, and I'm the opposite. I'm like low risk, low reward. But yeah, given a mention, KuCoin has a massive reach as well. So for them to take Icon into their campaigns that they're running, where you can win your share of 30,000 USDT, that's good. So that received a retweet there, I would assume.
Yeah.
Next.
Great. What's this?
You tell me.
No, I won't. I refuse. Invictus. I'll call it
Inanus Invictus. Yeah, go on.
Oh, Jack, sorry. Okay, so yeah, look, we've seen a bit of an update. It was it's a board game. They had a sale. It's already happened, and you can see that Brandon and co wanted to update everyone with what's going on. So they've published a cool little update of how the game will look. Yeah, it's looking cool. Cool. Well, I actually haven't seen the clip. I got engrossed in the video clip, but yeah, good to see him continue to update progress on that. Next up, Gangsterverse. Did you check, David? They had dropped. Did you get any?
No.
Me either, man. Don't worry. It's cool. But
people were talking about multiple crates. They got multiple crates, but what is it? Okay, so the Gangsterverse NFT project, originally GangsterBet, working on this game that you can actually click that link now. The war
Yeah, I think I
.gangsterverse.co.
got it. Here we go.
Yeah, so we've already had insights into the maps, into what's kind of going on right now. If you have GangsterBet NFTs, you can connect your wallet and see if you got dropped any loot crates. And allegedly, they're full of weapons and other attributes that you can then assign to your NFTs and go in and play the game. And the way it works, I think, is that you can play these games, and if you're actually good at it, and your squad of gangsters is winning, you can get rewarded with crown token or other forms of in-game assets. I don't think if you lose that you'll lose your NFTs. That would be rich, and I don't think anyone would want to play if that was the case. So I'm assuming that if you lose, you're just a loser, and the winners get rewarded. So that's what's going on there.
I'm not, David, I didn't get a loot crates. I got no weapons. I'm just going to go in with my gangster bet freestyle. No weapons, just walk around and...
I checked. The default weapon is a knife. So you've got a knife, Fez.
That's all
But
I
hey,
need.
you can go to Craft and go and buy a weapon if you want, because they're up for sale.
Yeah.
People are
Is
reselling their
it?
weapons. They're all
Already?
NFTs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. See, just new markets after new markets. Okay, that's great. Look, overall, I think, David, we're trying to get Larke and Co. On a Twitter space,
Yeah.
and do a bit of an interview, because I think that's a huge milestone for Icon itself. It will turn into a big game, So it's good to see a lot of progress there. Okay, next up we have a bit of a partnership here with Framed and Alter. They got some Yeti hats along with official Icon merchandise. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love my hats.
I do too, and I know because I had the Alter cap that you gave me. That if it's anything in the realm of quality like that one, I want it, and I kind of like both. So I think they're dropping on the 24th, which is 4 days from now. Obviously, curious to see what the price will be. I kind of feel like I like my caps, so I want the Icon cap. I do
Price
know that
be damned, I hear
you. Yeah. And if you order both, then you're saving on shipping costs, of course. So you could also order both. I like the framed one as well. I really like that
way to
design.
go. Now you just sold me on both of them. God damn.
It is what it is.
So
but happy to see this, yeah.
Yeah, no, agree. Okay, next up, I just thought we saw this. Frame did we covered it last time with their 2.0, and what I thought this was cool, like, the 10,000 Yetis, and they're up to 8,000, which is a huge milestone. And obviously now with the 2.0 and how the Yetis are going to play a part in farming and various other things that they've explained, it is getting close. Only 2,000 left.
Yeah, and there's a savvy catalyst for sales here. So you receive the framed token if you own a Yeti NFT, but that happens for the duration of a year. And after that year, your Yeti stops earning that token. But if you purchase one today, you have another year of earning that token. So for a lot of people who may have bought upon the pre-sale or when the sale started, you might have gotten a couple. They will all stop earning frame token at the same time. And you might think, okay, if I buy one now, I have another year of receiving that token on it. So that's one of the little knacks that I think is smart, and this is why I believe that this will probably sell out to the 10,000 soonish when people realize that they're not earning that ecosystem token anymore, which they might want to do. It doesn't mean that Yeti NFTs cannot earn anything anymore. I believe what we're seeing here is that you will be able to stake your NFTs, and there will be another way of distributing rewards. But the combination of that stuff is interesting. They call it Yeti 2.0.
Yep. And you know what? They do a ton of articles, a lot of detail on how everything works. So definitely, if you haven't caught up, head on over to their Medium and just start reading their articles. Okay, next, this was the teaser that we had. I kind of already mentioned it earlier, but Craft obviously are going multi-chain, cross-chain, however you want to call it, but they are looking to launch on another chain, and that chain is Neutron. David, do you know much about Neutron?
Nothing at all until I read this, and I quickly started to read up on it. There's some terminology that is probably common in the Cosmos ecosystem, talking about consumer chains and whatnot. But before they dropped this news, Lucas from the Stakey team had already dropped like insightful threads on how they were going to pick their partner. So it makes a lot of sense that you wouldn't have heard of this connected chain, because it is like, it's not just, hey, let's connect to Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain, building this bridge that no one is going to use. You know what I mean? Like, it's a metaphor, building a bridge, building a connection that no traffic is going to travel across. Whereas they seem to have picked their destination blockchain based on its potential to have great cross-chain communication and grow the platform the way it was always intended to grow, cross-chain.
So great points, David. And this is, so if you weren't aware, Neutron is one of the first chains that takes advantage of Cosmos 2.0, which involves releasing what's known as interchain security. So traditionally, Cosmos has, there's many chains in the Cosmos ecosystem. Any chain that uses their SDK is essentially, a Cosmos IBC chain. But the way those chains work is each of them have their own validator set, and that validator set provides security for that chain. So Cosmos 2.0 and interchain security is giving the ability for new chains to get spun up, but rely on Atom, Cosmos, the main chain, for its security. So kind of like, think of it as a layer 2 in terms of its security comes from the Cosmos chain. Like in Ethereum, all the layer 2s, Optimistic, Arbitrum, things like that, their security comes from Ethereum while they're layer 2. So infrastructurally, it may be different on Cosmos, but to give you that idea, this is why Neutron is different. So they don't have to worry about going and getting validator sets and emissions and things like that. They do have to, their token would have to get sent to Atom validators, and that's another thing not for us to tackle. But that's a bit about Neutron. That's why it's really exciting. The chain itself is very exciting. And to David's point as well, like you're seeing this happen. So Craft is on Neutron. Neutron is a new chain, new users, being the first on market, ready to launch when the chain is live. First NFT store, capture new audience. Archway, another Cosmos chain, doing its own thing. It has its own perks and uniqueness, and the goal is we're actually literally connecting to the chain and looking to launch a product on the chain. Why? Again, new chain, new audience, get in there and capture that user base, and then keep building from there. And obviously, as we're capturing that user base, it's using xCall as its tech when it's relying on interoperability. So huge news here. And great to see the Craft. Their approach is very different to what Balanced is doing. So keep in mind, I gave the example, Balanced contracts live. You can see, I'll finish that train of thought. Balanced contracts are going to live on Icon, and then they'll use xCall to send messages back and forth. Whereas Craft are going down a different route where they're deploying their protocol on the new chain. So it's like having two, one on Icon, one on Neutron, but the difference here is when they get to the point of like the interoperability, which is when the protocol is generating revenue, sharing the fees, that they're going to connect it through to the same tokenomics. And obviously they'll use xCall and messages to pass that information back and forth with what they need to do. I haven't seen the detailed plans around it, but that's the guts of it, and that's how they're proceeding, which is great. That is fantastic, because from an NFT perspective, it makes sense. NFT store perspective, it makes sense to do that. So huge news here. Love it. I know a lot of people. There's a lot of people love Craft. The community and Craft, NFTs and Icon. People have resonated with it, and they just love Craft in general. I must say, I've gone to other NFT stores and I lose interest very quickly. Patience, I should say, not interest. I've always gone back to Craft. I think it's the yield that I'm getting on there. Yeah, must be that. That's the only reason I keep going to any other app. Yeah.
I like it too. I like the way that they present their brand.
Yeah.
I love their content. They're generous with it as well,
Mm.
with their content, and obviously the whole the craft token that gets distributed to people who are active on the platform, buyers and sellers. They pioneered that like a year, 2, 3 ago.
Mm.
Even before big Ethereum mainnet platforms were doing it, Craft was doing it,
Mm.
and they've ironed out the what's good about it, what isn't. They've made improvements. They're in the process of making improvements. So yeah, they're I like Craft.
Yeah. I like craft, David. David's slogan. I like craft. That's
I
it. That's the
like a lot of
banner.
things. It's
Yeah, love it. Okay. So part of this evolution, we've seen Craft actually announce the Craft Wizards, which is a DAO. Pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. If you're a community member looking to get involved with, if what Craft is doing excites you, if you like me like Craft, this is a way to actually get in and be a contributing community member. And you never know where those journeys end. You start helping out with something. Next thing you know, you're tackling. A bit of a bigger project and you're learning
Mm-hmm.
something new. Next thing you know, there is success and it could turn into a paid gig on the longer run. So that's kind of how community members often get roped into Web3, I think. And it starts with DAOs like this.
I'm pretty sure, well, it wasn't DAO related, but David, that's our story, isn't it? Like just community members doing stuff
Basically,
constantly. Yeah.
contributing um, to a certain quality level, I'd say,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and time and energy. And at some point, I don't know, might get picked up. If I had the time, I would be interested in the Craft DAO,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
cross chain mission.
yeah.
It's cool.
It, perfect timing with launching again new chain. I explained why this chain is got a lot of not just hype but genuine interest, being it's one of the interchain uh, security chains to launch. So yeah, exciting time to get involved and learn some stuff going on in other ecosystems. Okay. There's an announcement as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
we've kind of delved into this already.
yeah.
Uh, okay. Next up, what's this? Oh, David, talk me through this.
Talking about DAOs, another DAO has been in the works for a while now. It's been spearheaded by John and Arosh, who are the community managers for Icon in the Icon Discord. Yeah, they work a lot to manage the community, putting out content. Yeah, just redirecting new community members to the right places, and they have worked with Eric to kind of combine these efforts into the with ICONists DAO. So this is now a new community organization that does what John and Arosh have been doing, but
Mm.
aims to get interested community members, iconists, who want to get involved, to give them a platform to do that. And they've already launched their first what would you call it, like point of action, together with the Drogon team. Drogon Tool is a tool for building on Icon, which has been CPS funded.
Mm.
I think it's nearly ready. So what they've launched is an incentivization program where users are incentivized to go in and use the Drogon tool, and then actually get paid to do that. Drogon gets the feedback, gets the testing. It's with ICONists DAO, monitors who's helping out, what's the quality of the feedback, I believe, and what who gets paid essentially. Probably using the Zeely platform, formerly known as Crew 3, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you're a fan of the Icon community, if you're a fan of John and Arosh, and if you enjoy daily quizzes, having conversation in the massive Icon Discord, and you feel like you want to help out in any way, then the Within ICONists DAO would be the entry point for that. It's like, hey, how can I contribute to this DAO? John and Arosh, what's your next plan? What could you use help with? Because look,
Yeah.
we all have skills in certain areas. and you'll be surprised by how much you can actually help out. And it's kind of rewarding as well for your time, because if you're going to hang out anyways, if you're going to participate in daily quizzes, general conversation, whether you like to talk about price or whether you like to talk about the devs, the building, contributing in a meaningful manner is just very rewarding and fun, and it helps the ecosystem forward. So the with ICONists Dao is you can follow them on Twitter now, new handle. So there it is. Go find that, give it a follow, and support whenever they need it too.
Yep, love it. Legendary guys. Okay, so Penguin now. We've covered we give everyone as much time in the limelight, and they have released their model, which is around, I guess, what happens, because they've kind of set up the NFT collection as an investment system, and this is kind of a map of that shows you where the money goes and how it generates revenue. And so look, there's a lot there, and I can't actually break it down any further. We need to get the man himself, who is a regular on Twitter Spaces. So definitely, if you have questions, you should be on these Real Honest Radio Spaces and quizzing the guys when they come on if you have questions, or jump on their Discord. But there's a ton of information here breaking down. So if you hadn't caught this already, definitely want to get across.
Yeah, and go check out the website too. It's penguin.io. It's pretty neat, straightforward. There's an FAQ at the end. It's very clear who are the team members. You can follow them on Twitter to get that information in as well. And currently, I think they've sold out 10% of their current NFTs sale, which is the Royal Penguin passes that also have a place in their economic system. So that's all ongoing.
Yep. Okay, next up, Ohm. Ohm. Okay, what's happening here, David?
Ohm is literally merging with the staked ICX team and transitioning into a liquid staking platform. Now, I'm not entirely sure what liquid staking platforms look like, but I do know what liquid staking is. It is essentially regular staking is you locking up your ICX tokens and receiving a reward for that, but you have no access to your ICX tokens anymore. And what liquid staking does is they say, hey, give us your ICX tokens. We stake them for you, but we will issue you with a SICX token in return. So you now hold a token that represents your staked ICX.
Yeah.
And that token accrues value over time as well. So now you have a token that you can still use. You can still trade with it, use it as collateral, whatever you want to do with that SICX. You can still use it. And at the same time, you're receiving that staking value. So it kind of, it helps a native economy, because I believe there's more ICX circulating if you have a liquid staking protocol. And we already had the SICX, but it's interesting now that one of the benefits of this liquid staking Ohm becoming this liquid staking platform is they're going to offer functionality for us to actually choose which validators we vote for when we hold staked ICX. Is that correct?
Yes. So that that functionality existed, but so basically what's happening is, like, we've had SICX, right? SICX kind of was built, and then that's it. And then Ohm, through its money market, launched this feature where you could allocate, be Ohm controlled. But as a product, as a liquid staking product, that's what SICX is. It hasn't evolved in any way, shape, or form. Now, given events, Ohm's reassessed, worked with the team that built SICX, and kind of gone, hey, look at Lido, look at all these liquid staking protocols that have gotten further and progressed as proof of stake has just become the standard. There's so much more we can do with this here, and now we can use Ohm and BOhm to control, that SICX, the liquid ICX, and generate fees, and then market the product, and then wherever it evolves to. And that's basically what's happening. So the SICX, is not changing, but what will happen is now it will be directly connected to Ohm's token, BOhm, and this is what these proposals keep expanding on. So bye money market, hello liquid staking. So yeah, in a nutshell.
Yeah, and that had to pass through Ohm improvement proposals, because there is a community here holding bonded Ohm tokens, and that gives you voting power. So, as is usual in this decentralized world, these votes have to pass before they can be enacted. But I think it's like a 4-5 step plan, and the initial one, the actual transition was approved in OIP 18, so the improvement proposal 18, and I think the vote for 19, which is a vote to kind of halt the current ongoing inflation of the Ohm token. And then there's a couple things that have to happen for this pivot to be able to happen, but they have to go through voting. So that's what's happening now. If you're on the Ohm platform and you hold Ohm, you've got a lot of voting to do these days. A lot of governance, Fez.
Yes, I know. Governance. Okay, next up. Okay, we're literally at the tail end. Full disclosure, we are invested working on this project, 16-Bit Fight Club, so that definitely biased. But yes, there's a store about to launch. Hello Chocobo's hard at work with this revamping and getting this ready, and it was meant to launch a while back. However, we've implemented this you can pay via ICX, but for some reason right at the tail end when you process the payment, it would break the link. So Hello Chocobo has been hard at work redoing the whole thing to try and figure out what the issue was, and he's fixed it. And it's not launched yet, but it will soon be ready. So soon you'll be able to go in and just buy some merch. Oh, I'm not wearing my merch. Damn, what a fail.
But what can you explain, what is a fight bag, Fez?
This one?
Yeah.
Well, you don't rock up to a fight empty-handed. You rock up with your bag, and then you go, hold up. You get changed.
Would your knife be in your fight bag?
Yes, my gangster vet knife. That is exactly where it stays.
So the fight mat, is that like your arena? Is it big?
Oh, you got to clean your legs before you get into a fight. Your feet, you want to make sure they're pristine for the kicks.
Like when you say it, it sounds so logical.
Of
Thanks.
course,
yeah.
Of course. These are things I think about every day. Look,
so can I pay with ICX here?
You can, yes, and that's the best part. So you can pay with real money or
magic money.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Look, and overall, 16-Bit Fight Club. If you haven't, there's a tournaments going on at the moment. It's been really cool, David. You've been missing out. Like
I know.
We've had a few streamers jump in, and so there's one guy, Sonic. He's come in. He's a streamer on Twitch, and he actually plays all these retro games. And he heard about this and joined, and he signed up, got some ICX, and he's now taking part in the tournaments. Yeah.
You know what I need? You know what I need with these things? I need a poster with a time slot that with a day and a date with my country flag, that I know, like, okay, that's just when I need to rock up. It's so hard to keep track of these timed events in this worldwide time zone space, but this goes for everyone, of course. But you never know if it's in the middle of the night or the middle of your day when you're actually busy doing stuff. Because I see the results and I see like the tournament brackets, and it's these games that I was like, missed it again. That would have been fun. I know I'd lose instantly, but then I'd see you in like the loser competition, right?
Oh yeah. Like I take pride in losing. It's what I strive to do. I get in there, and go, don't worry, I'm going to lose. And then after I lose, I proclaim I've won, just to have a bit of fun.
You could tell me anything.
Yeah. Okay, next up, what have we got? Okay, David, what have you been up to? Or you at the comms team in general?
Yeah. Well, if we're looking at Twitter now, is it? We've definitely increased the Twitter Coinmarketcap comms output. For those who have been paying attention, you'll notice that it's Arosh and John who have been stepping up big time as well with all the community content, and the handle has kind of shifted to become, an
not
aggregation.
handle.
No, it's all community. So you'll see that like the spotlights of who's building what, who's working on what's happening here. So that's been good. Then talking about CoinMarketCap, we pumped through 35K followers now, so
Oh,
that's
damn.
increasing nicely, and they are actually building out their socials platforms. For anyone who may have noticed, they're going to do Twitter. They're going to launch a Twitter Spaces um, functionality where you can
Mm,
actually go up and host a space on CoinMarketCap.
yeah,
So this is something new that's upcoming, but it has this benefit. CoinMarketCap has this broad like crypto, a lot of eyeballs on it, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
they have a front page that gets millions and millions of visitors every
Yeah.
day. So to get yourself and your project and product up there, talking about stuff, Fez, I think you and I might have to just have a look over there and
Yeah.
do one on CoinMarketCap. I hope people would make the effort to come and follow there.
Yeah.
Something we should definitely try out. And yeah, with all the tech moving forward the way it is, we've got the stuff on testnet. We have the IBC, the xCall integrations moving forward. We are in this phase where the testing. We want dApps to come and test, and we want not just Icon ecosystem
Mm,
projects, but we wouldn't mind projects from abroad to come in and do testing. But sometimes you need to give people a little nudge, incentivize people a
yeah.
little bit, just come in and do that. So um, it's in the works, but incentivization for users to come and develop on xCall, but also to come and test as a user on xCall is something that we're working on. It's something that will be communicated in the future. Yeah.
Mm. And this is a good point. I think you just said it, and I want to highlight like there'll be two phases, right? Like, and I like to think, okay, let's take me and David for example. The incentivization in the early stage, me and David as end users, we're not going to have anything to do, right? Like, there's nothing to
No,
do. No, the
nothing
incentive.
to do.
Exactly. That is the end product. Like when Balance has something deployed, or another protocol has something deployed, and I can go and start clicking and going, let's claim my yield. That is my phase to start, testnet incentivization, yada yada yada. But initially, the goal is to incentivize the teams that are building to get in there and start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you'd rather have 20 teams building with xCall and finding like little things that may or may not work or that need
Mm.
improvement, as opposed to 5 teams doing that. Like it's just more power
Yeah.
there. So that's something that you definitely want to go for, and something that you must incentivize because people don't come
And
out of nowhere.
and exactly. And then the other point is like, oh, but what have we been doing all this time? Well, uh, remember that the end-to-end demo and things like that, these were early previews that when you see Craft and when they talk about xCall and how they actually know and are knowledgeable on what xCall is and how it works, is because these kind of things were made available early before anything was launched on testnet and things like that. They could run locally and understand how it works, and all the dev stuff in the background, and yeah, so that's happened. Now we're on testnet, so it's like, okay, now we can actually build these products and get them moving onto testnet, and then test in the different ecosystems. So yeah, exciting
Yeah,
times. I'm
it
keen to
is.
see the testnet incentivization stuff come to light.
Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, on the edge of things, I also decided to drink decaffeinated coffee as opposed to real coffee. And did you know, Fez, that if you switch from regular coffee to decaf coffee, you get a banging headache?
Of
And
course, withdrawals, man. Come on.
did you know that?
Yeah, it's like I get a withdrawal if I don't have a coffee for like but in the evening I get a headache. I'm like, what? Oh, I didn't have coffee today.
And not just one day, like several days of headache before the body adapts to decaffeinated coffee. Look, I'm back to regular coffee.
Oh, thank
Uh,
God, that's sweet, sweet coffee.
But I was thinking, what's wrong with me? Like, I didn't even know this was a thing. So that's been happening.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can't believe you
Yeah.
did it.
Oh well,
Uh,
no. Look, I'm back on the regular stuff now. But just so you know, if you ever plan to make the switch, you're going to get a banging headache, and that was news to me. So that's
no,
been my highlight.
in fact, I've gone next level, just black coffee now. No more milk in
Oh
the
yeah,
coffee. Yeah, yeah. Just yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
It's not
So
not very Australian. I know Australians like to.
oh yeah, in Melbourne everyone's coffee no. No, me and my wife, no. We're just black from a canned coffee. Oh yeah, does the
That's
trick.
it.
um
Yeah,
okay. Is there anything else? That a bit of
not on my end.
okay, I think we should make coffee chat a regular thing, David.
Yeah. Do you want to talk beans and grinds and that kind of stuff? Because
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do
yeah,
some research and come back to you with some good
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Okay, we'll slap it in at the end. People can fast forward too.
Coffee chat. They're not coming for crypto, they're coming for the coffee chat. Okay. Okay. Look, as always, not financial advice. We didn't even say this earlier in the episode. We've talked about so much stuff. Not financial advice. Just two guys who love the ecosystem, worked on a podcast, now work in the ecosystem, and still want to keep making sure everyone is getting the latest and greatest on everything going on in the ecosystem and offering some insight perspective now in
Yeah.
the background with some of the inner workings of what's going on and what we're progressing to. So always keep that in mind, not financial advice. And if you have anything, make sure hey, how do people contact us now, David?
There's
Is
two
it,
ways of doing it. Through Twitter is a good way,
yeah.
but you can also visit ionicon.xyz and hit the slide in DMs tab.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, yeah, there's a nice form there, and it comes directly to us. So that's a way to reach out as well. But yeah, like you said, if the SEC is listening right now, not financial advice, just two
Yeah.
guys.
Chatting about crypto and coffee. Like, what else is there to talk about?
That's what this is. All
Like,
righty.
share, subscribe. Thanks, everyone. Hey, David, when's Min's next episode? Inside
We
Icon.
yeah, we're recording in about it's going to be the last week of the month, so it's going to be next week.
Exciting.
It's going to be me and Min. We're going to be chatting about what's happened in the last month on his end in the broader crypto space and in Icon, obviously. So yeah, that'll happen within the next 7 days, I'd say.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. Okay. Take care. David, chat
Thank
soon.
you. Bye.
Bye.